Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Man of Thought, aka the Villain of Truth, aka the Black Panther of Nigeria. How are you all doing at the moment? Before I proceed on today's conversation, I want to take a few moments to actually go through my phone and see if whatever I set up is actually showing right on your screen, so I don't make the same mistake I made the last time when I was making videos and you guys could not see me. There are a few things I want to discuss about. Little information I gathered. And please, if I'm doing great, if you can see me clearly, I would appreciate you to give me, will I call it heads up, or give me information, or just let me know I'm doing fine. Well, I do not like this, the way I appear. Doesn't make sense. It seems I still have little adjustment to make. Let me see if I make it portrait, how it's going to appear. Does it make sense this way? Oh, somehow it makes some sense. Let me open my curtain so there can be some light. I don't want to turn on the light. There are a few things I need to talk about at the moment. Thanks for joining, everyone. Don't know if this is Rusty, and I always guess Rusty first because he's my number one brother now. He has always been my number one brother ever since the YouTube space. So, first thing that comes to my mind is always Rusty. Aha! Good morning. Good morning. Your timing, and don't worry. It's just a little bit kind of amazing. Like we are brothers from different places, yet I can say I understand you. All is well. Yeah. Yesterday I could not come on live to make any video, and there are a few reasons for it. There was no light yesterday, and I was doing few things with my solar, and so I was also doing some reading and some other magic that I like doing, and so it prevented me from coming to live stream yesterday. But before I went to sleep yesterday, I actually got some information. At least I watched certain videos, and it baffles me. And trust me, I do not like talking about these things, but there are some subjects that are important that people talk about. And before I proceed, I would urge those people who are just joining me, please, if you haven't joined, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Double tap your screen to show some likes, so it helps the algorithm to inform others. I would appreciate if you show those support before we actually go into the subject. And the subject is very simple. And it has to do with me and my people and the way some people view us. This is not a setback, or this is not anything to insult anyone or to cast aspersion on anybody. but for us to reason, and I like to use this medium to have great insights towards other things. Please double tap your screen and show some likes. I would appreciate every support. I would love to go into the story and to the subject. And please, while I discuss this, if you have any intention to inform me on something, feel free to inform me. Feel free to ask questions. It does not necessarily have to be related to the subject. Even though I want to stick to the subject, but you can ask me a few questions. And if you also have a better suggestion for me, I would also appreciate it. Now I will narrate this story a little bit so some people can understand. I have a comment. This from Rusty. Okay, Rusty. Rusty says, just a quick message from the moderators and on behalf of the channel host, our thoughts and prayers are being sent out to anyone in Florida who has been forced to evacuate because of the hurricane. Yes, thank you so much. Sorry about certain disasters that happen in life. Thanks for even drawing my attention to that particular part, because we've seen this happen over and over again, and stuff like this keeps going on. Now there are a few things I actually want to share today, and what I actually want to share is a video I watched yesterday from a guy that you might be familiar with, and he has a channel called Uncle Rody. I think I've complained about this guy before, and some things that surprises me as Africans or as humans is like, how do certain individuals escape life, becoming grown, having multiple children, getting old in life, and sometimes they make us ask some questions like, where is the intelligence of these individuals, or how do they survive life for them to get this old? Because not everything has to do with finance. Not everything has to do with finance. This brother, they call his name Uncle Rody. He has been making some kind of complaint. He makes some kind of remarks. And for the first time I watched this video, I see him as, I don't like insulting people based off their IQ, but I think his mindset is really working on a very low vibration. Sometimes I see how he narrates stories and people listen to some of his stories and the rest of it. But he said some things yesterday that I looked at again and I said, why are you doing this to us? Why is it Africans that has gone outside the country, why are they always doing this? We, the Africans that are here. Now, he narrated a story yesterday. He said he lives in the Europe, I think Australia or Austria, I think. He said yesterday he woke up and Europe is always boring. So he makes a decision to walk outside. And while he got to the place where cars were passing by, he decided to bring out his phone and begin to record. He decided to make video. And when he started making this video, he realized that some cars were coming and he refused to go out of the road, out of the express. And so he kept on making his video. He said one of them on. And when one person on, the second person on, he refused to get out of the way and he kept making his video. And then what happened is the drivers, the Europe guys, they decided to take different routes. They decided to drive and passing by rather than coming down to challenge him. And he said this. He said this is the reason why he loved Europe. He said in Africa, we are not civilized. He said in Africa, our mind is not open. He said if it was Africa, some people, that means if it was in Nigeria, because it's a Nigerian brother, that some people would have come down from their car if it was in Nigeria and challenged him. They would have insulted him. Some would have possibly even want to hit his phone, that he should get out of the way. And when he said the statement, I was asking if he has the ability to think as a human being. I only made a video on this, but I'll be uploading it soon, which I spoke extensively on it. Rusty says he's lucky he wasn't run over in Europe. Yeah. And here's what he said. He said that Africans have low mentality and they are not civil, and Europe are more civil. And the question that begins to pop up in my mind is, you are an African guy and you went to a foreign land that does not belong to you or your father or your ancestors. And you went to their land, they gave you freedom, they gave you rights, they brought you to be part of their society. And then you took up your phone and you begin to obstruct people on the road who are going. And then because they did not hit you with the car, so it makes them better than the Africans. And they just, everybody just keep minding and they are going towards their own way. And then you feel like, yes, that has made you arrive because you are in a society where people are sane than to be in a society where people are insane. And my question is, are you not insane to have been in somebody else's country and you are abusing their rights? What gives you that right to think that you can go to another man's country and act in any way you like? And then you are insulting your African country, saying that these people are more civil than my people. Rossi says, Europe is used to silly nonsense from people waving a video camera around. We try to ignore it now, but there are many who challenge his stupidity. And it marvels me, like, I keep asking myself few questions. What is wrong with Africans? You know, the other time, the last conversation we had, you and Lisa, you actually opened my eyes or my mind towards few things. And I actually learned from it. Okay, why Africans are doing some of the things they are doing. But I'm like, how can you even complain? Because at the end of the day, these certain individuals will still be the person who would come out and start screaming racism. These are the same people that will say that the Europe does not give them respect, or foreign countries does not welcome them with a full open hands. And I'm like, why will I go to somebody else's country and I go and start disrespecting the citizens of that country? And then the only way you can refer the conversation of your stupidity is to say that Europe is better than African because you are free to act in a stupid way. So my question is kind of simple in some ways, which is, this how some people perceive a lot of Africans that comes to their country? Do you think most of them are actually abusing their rights? Do you think most of them are constituting nuisance? And I'm not saying this is all, I just know it can be few. Or do you think there are just few of Africans who act in a strange way, who practice this stupidity as a religion, and just to prove to the Africans that they are now in a different country? How do you perceive them when you see people like that? What are the percentage of those kind of people that you view? Because I just want to have clear understanding before I fully conclude on the video. Okay. Rusty says it will be a very small minority who act like that. Okay. And is there any clue why you think some of them express themselves that way? Do you have any clue why some people express themselves that way? Because I might be looking at it from this end and I might not see the purpose behind it. Maybe they have a different intention that tends to be good. How do you guys view it? Do you guys view it like stupidity, or you think it is the joy of being in Europe or being in UK or being in America that gives them this this viewpoint? And does it actually offend you guys? And if it does, what are the laws that are set in place around things like this? Are there any laws that actually go towards this direction of people or foreigners coming to your land and staying on your way? Because it was them right about one thing. If he was in Nigeria, they would most likely not even question him. They would most likely just hit him with the car and continue their journey. If he sees the ones who have his time, maybe they would have to dialogue and warn him to get out of the way. As they say, bad mouthing their own country and their own people has to be because they like Europe better. But I find I can't trust the person who badmouths his own people. Thank you, sir. Because then I am like, how would you view this kind of people? What is the content of their own character? Are there any laws that are actually set in place? Or is it like there's a law that does not allow you guys to actually challenge people like that? Because some people need to be put in their place. Not basically because you're trying to overcome them. It is basically because if I tolerate all kinds of people into my house, I would not complain if my house is being messed up. So are there laws that actually help you guys out? These are just part of the things I'm curious about. I think in the evening also when I want to come on live, I'll most likely touch on few of these also. Probably this will be the third story. Rusty says, freedom of expression is what allows him to do what he does, but in my country, if we challenge him, we are automatically labeled racist because of his skin color. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. Amazing. Amazing. So the reason why I just came on live, I wanted to look into this stuff. I'm yet to complete the whole video. I'm working on few things, but I like to have the insights of those who are actually staying there. Said something. He said, as white people, we are taught we don't understand the black struggle and we should never question anything. That is amazing. Truly, I can't also deny the struggle of the blacks. I think we have a lot of things to put in place. I think everybody has to, come together and work on making their nations proud, or joining their hands with their brothers to at least do things that can uplift their economy, their country. But one thing that is also important is the character of how we decide to relate with other people. Because most of these countries where we actually go to as Africans, we understand that some of these countries, does not belong to our ancestors. Yes, they may say, oh, we have rights to some things, just like the conversation we had the other time. But the reality is, have we built our character to be more civil and to have respect also, that when we go to other people's country, we should be able to have attitude that other people would have more respect for us as Africans. Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that is going on as Africans. I think we have the desire to make African work. This generation kind of talk about Africanism, Pan-Africanism, and the rest of it. But sometimes the attitude does not really fit the story, the narration, the motivation, the inspiration. Rossi says Black America is under so much scrutiny because of Black Lives Matter. They originally said on their own website their aim was to destroy the Western nuclear family, white families with children. Wow. They eventually removed it from their website after so much backlash. Wow. This is amazing. Is this really true? What you narrate, Rust, is it really true? Is this something you witnessed, or it's just a story? Because I haven't heard of this. I was unaware about this. Wow. Rossi says, unfortunately, yes. I read it on their website for myself. Wow. I wish somebody can, maybe any Black can come and deny this fact and say it's not true. Says the other part on the website, which was called About Us, and it was about how they wanted to destroy Western nuclear family. Amazing. This is really amazing. Because for me, with what you said, I think our struggle or our aim should have been how to just focus on the Black economy, community, business, freedom, equality, or whatever we call these things. I do not believe focusing on anything, maybe you call it vengeance, maybe you call it setup, whatever we try to call all these things, does not help us in any way, shape, or form. And sometimes I have listened to few of Africans who are always talking about some white people, or white people should feel guilty for what they've done to us and blah blah blah. And some of these comments are the things that make me, I would say, oh, on this particular side, I'm not so much in support with my people. It's not like I'm not so much in support. I'm not even in support of stuff like that. because it's like then we are not even trying to heal ourselves, then we are not trying to grow. All we are just trying to do is to remain in bondage and always find an excuse to why we remain where we are. Because that's for sure is never a solution to our problem. Sorry, I'm back. Why are you still at home? I'm sorry, I will be back. I'll be back. My daughter needs a little bit of attention. Sorry. Sorry.